Hey guys, it's Patriot Picker here, and I'm Chris, and we're down in the eBay bunker. Well, January 2020 has arrived, and eBay sales have slowed down just a little bit. I'm sure I'm probably not the only one who is experiencing that, but don't get discouraged. Sales are going to pick back up soon. I hope. As a part-time reseller, I hope they do. So if you're like me and you're in it for part-time, I hope you're doing better than me. But I'm looking forward to seeing the sales pick back up soon. So what I wanted to do, since it's kind of slowed down a little bit, is make a video for you guys. And one of the YouTube stars, if you want to call him that, gave me an idea, and I wanted to make a little short video here and try something out with you. So as you know, as resellers, we go out and we source. And during this time of year, here in Virginia, sourcing kind of slows down as well. So I've been having a lot of success, as you can see from my previous videos, at our local thrift stores. And so what I want to do is I want to build a lot of items that we've sourced recently. At one time, we went out and got all these items at one time on one day, and I want to group them, and then I want to see how they do in the long run as far as profit goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off, and we're going to show you what the items are. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we picked them up for, so you can kind of follow along with us. And then when future videos content comes out, once one of these items sells, I'll be sure to mention it in the video that we are that much closer to possibly finishing up the lot. And then you can kind of go with me on this trip and this adventure to see what the final profit margin is as we resell these on eBay. So without further ado, let's jump right in. And I want to jump right in and start off by telling you that the two items that we did the best on this past December were board games and books, believe it or not. And so I'm not really saying that these items are going to be our niche, but we're having a lot of success with board games and books. And so our first item is actually going to be a puzzle, neither a board game or book. But we have had a lot of success with puzzles as well. So here's our first item, and it is a White Mountain puzzle called the Old Bookstore. It is a 1,000-piece puzzle, and I don't have the patience to put these together. My wife loves them. I do not, and hopefully those of you out there who love puzzles will go to our store, which is Fred and Charlie, all one word, Fred and Charlie. That's our eBay store. So be sure to look us up, and I'll leave a link in the description of this video letting you know how to get there. And thank you so much for all of you who are supporting us thus far, and we look forward to gaining more and more subscribers in the future. So that's the first item in the lot, is a puzzle. And by the way, I think this puzzle came in somewhere around the $1.99 range. Next item up is a Disney numerical puzzle. And this is a Melissa and Doug, which is a famous family who does puzzles for children and a lot of other toys that they do as well. And so this one is a Disney. You can see right here the logo. And it's just a simple number puzzle for children. And this one came in at 99 cents. And now to our board games, as we were talking about a while ago. So, when it comes to board games, if I pick them up and they're in good condition and all the pieces are there, sometimes in our thrift stores, by the way, I don't know about your areas, but the thrift stores are getting into kind of this habit of where they're wrapping stuff up with, the plastic seal wrap. And they'll go around it a few times, and they'll even actually take shipping tape and tape boxes, which is horrible for us as resellers, because when we go in and we pick them up to view them, we don't want to take that tape off and it be damaged. And that's happening a lot. So you got to be very careful at removing the tape if they are taped. But anyway, this puzzle, or game, I should say, is called Blunders. It looks like it's a learning character game for children. And this came in at $1.99. And it's in really good condition. All the pieces are there. Let's see the back here. And so we're hoping that does really well for us, because families are really looking to teach their kids character, and this is a good way to do that. Okay, I'm going to jump over to a book now. A lot of these books that I'm going to be showing you, there's nothing really maybe sensational about the titles, but what I tend to try to do on books is I try to look for really old books, regardless of their title, regardless of what they're about, because I have had a lot of success, as I said, selling older books. I sell new books as well, but more than anything, the older books are being more popular. So this is a book called Water Wonders. It teaches children about water and snow and scientific definitions of all learning and such. And this book was, I think, $1.99. Comes in at a date which I think is very interesting. I'm not going to go through all the dates of each one of these books. That would take me forever to make a video. Just want to show you a few. This is coming in at copyright 1907. And so things like this do really well for us just because of the age, like I said. And you don't get a lot of this older teaching anymore from books. Everything's online and everything seems to be kind of fairly modern. So to go back and look at some of our history like this is really fascinating to a lot of people. So we're hoping that this is going to do well for us on our eBay store. Jump into another book real quick, one called The Singing World. Again, copyright 1926. It is an older poetry, lyric, and rhyme book. You're looking to see what the author's name was. Forgive me for that pause there. Untermeyer. So that the author's name is Untermeyer, last name. So anyway, hoping something like this does well for us. Again, older books. I love older books, and I love selling older books. Okay, we're going to jump into something a little different now. I want to talk a little bit about ladies' purses and ladies' wallets and such. I'm not by any means an expert on any of this kind of stuff, but what I do when I go into a thrift store is I look for name brands, and I'm sure that's what a lot of you guys do as well. So I saw this Calvin Klein, picked it up and started looking at it and realized that, it's all in one piece. There's no damage to it. And it's got a zipper with a latch, and you can open it up and look and see that the thing's in really top-notch condition. Only thing about these is sometimes you will pay a little more for it than you normally would, like at a yard sale or something. But if I look it up on eBay and see that the comps are going really well and that they're selling, there's a market for it, then I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. So $1.99 for me, and we'll see how that does when we price it out. Okay, I want to bring your attention to something now that happens to me quite a bit as a new reseller, and that is finding something that I have no idea what it is. Even looking it up online in the short time that I'm in these thrift stores trying to figure things out. I've even gotten to the point where I might look for someone in the thrift store that seems like they might be knowledgeable about something. I'll stop them and ask them if they know anything about certain items. But every now and then you run across an item, you have no idea what it is, and you don't even know how to look it up. But I found out something that I thought was really cool with this next item. And so I'm going to show you the item box first, so you can see it's very colorful. It has a couple of latches on the front here. And so we're going to open this up together. And when we do, we're going to notice, first of all, let me see if I can get this close enough to the camera so you can see it. There's some Asian writing. Okay, so that tells you that what we're about to look at is obviously something from some Asian country. Don't know a whole lot about Asian writing myself other than some basic things, and so sometimes the basic things can help me get me in the right direction. For example, I knew a little bit about Chinese writing, and so I was able to look at the writing here and determine that this was from China, and that got me a little closer. But then when I show you what it is, which I will now, okay, these are brass vases, or vase, however you want to say that. And I'm going to try to get this close enough to where you can see some of the intricate design on here. No signature, no date, no writing, English writing of the such. You can see the bottom, top. And there are actually two of these in the box. I won't get the other one at this point. But I was able to do something. I was able to find an app. You'll have to forgive me. I think I'll put the link to this app in the description of this video, that was able to translate from Chinese to English for me to determine what these possibly were. And what these basically are handcrafted vases that were giving in a gift shop in a local medical hospital in China. And so you would go in their gift store, just like we have gift stores in our hospitals, and you would be able to purchase these and provide them to someone, family member or such. And I'm assuming that these were handcrafted by a local artist. And so, but to determine a price on something like this, I find to be kind of difficult. How can you put a price on artwork? It's something that I'm sure has been a long conversation for many years, as to how do you really put a price on art. So if you have any ideas for me, please give me some kind of comment on this video. If you can help me out in any way to determine a price. I do think they'll sell. It's just a matter of getting the right buyer. So we're going to move right along. All right, so another puzzle we have here. This is a 1,000-piece Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs puzzle. It comes in a really cool, thick container. So these are coming in at 99 cents, and we'll see how they do on our store. Okay, I was fortunate enough to find an item that is brand new, never been opened before. And you can see here, this is a Lazy Susan. It's got a marble finish to it. This come in at $3.99. It's a 13-inch Lazy Susan, still wrapped in the original box by Counter Art. And this is something that sells really well, any kind of home goods. And so we're looking forward to see how that does. All right, every now and then we run across, toys, children's plush animals and such, and so we found a little gift set here. This is the Little Lamb Day and Night. Comes with a little book and the plush as well. brand new, still in sealed up here in the box. Came in at 99 cents. So we'll be able to flip this and make a pretty good profit, because parents are always looking for something like this for newborns and preschoolers. So good time to read to your children as well. Okay, where I want to go next is another area that I'm not too well versed in. This is a Callista Tools, and it is a kit. It is I guess a hair curling iron. So you run it through your hair, and it works to curl as well as brush. Heats up, it's electric. It's got a booklet with it. It's used. It came in, I don't have the price tag on here, but it came in at $2.99 at our local thrift store. But looked up the comps on it, and they're going pretty good. So I think I'll be able to sell it. Sometimes I think a lot of folks might have hesitation toward buying an item like this. So I highly recommend that when you purchase items like this, if you do, really test them out before you buy them. Check them for cleanliness and such. There's a lot you can do to clean stuff up, I know, at home. But if you are going to buy something like this, pay attention to personal hygiene and such, and double check your stuff before you walk out the door. There's a lot of times I've purchased items, gotten excited about the fact that, you know, we had certain things, and then we're fortunate enough to get them at a low price, but then get home and find out that not everything is there. So do a thorough job when you're sourcing to make sure that you check everything. Okay, I was in a local thrift store about an hour from home not so long ago, and I ran into a gentleman who was looking at books, and I struck up a conversation with him, and I was able to learn some stuff. He was an older gentleman. He had an actual used bookstore in the local area, and gave me some pointers on some things. And one of the things that he pointed me to was, when it comes to older books, believe it or not, there are a lot of folks that love old crochet and knitting books. Typically the kind that you can kind of flip open and get a quick tutorial on how to do certain kinds of things with crocheting and knitting. So I found this book, and I picked it up, and again, hardback cover books I think go for $1.99, $2 in our local thrift stores. Again though, looking for copyright dates, and we find that this one's dated all the way back to 1946. So kind of hoping that this does really well due to its age and some of the older knowledge that might not be available to a lot of folks today in the area of crocheting. And everyone loves Winnie the Pooh. Short little story about Winnie the Pooh. My real name, by the way, is Chris Robinson, and it is Christopher Robinson. So I was harassed a lot in school, being accused of being the kid in Winnie the Pooh. But as you probably know, if you're familiar with Winnie the Pooh, it's not Christopher Robinson, it's Christopher Robin. And that's just a little short snippet for history about my life. But Winnie the Pooh plush here, Disney, tag, and I believe this one is a Kohl's. So these do really well on eBay as well. So looking forward to seeing how that does. And I think this one come in at $1.99. All right, so the next item I'm going to show you is an item that sometimes it's kind of that hit and miss and doubt whether or not you should invest, because you don't know whether or not you're really going to be able to flip something and make much profit. So the next item is this Fisher-Price lunch pail. Now, I went ahead and purchased it. It's in decent shape. It's come in at 99 cents. It does not have a thermos with it, but when I looked them up on eBay, they were selling, and I paid 99 cents. The way I see it is if I sell this for anything more than 99 cents, on top of shipping, of course, then I'm making a profit. So this is just an item. These are good little items to put. They're Fisher Price, and so they're good items to put in booths if you have booths in your local, downtown communities or whatever, flea markets and such like that. This is a good little item to put in there. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not going to get into every single item that we're going to put in this lot. I wanted to cover just some of the basics of what we did get. So, again, some plush animals, some toys, board games, puzzles, real quick, sometimes real funny things like don't step in it games, where you actually have Play-Doh that looks like you know what, and you work with your friends and parents to not step in it with a blindfold. I would never think this would sell, but according to eBay, it's a good one. So I went ahead and picked this up as well as one of these items in the lot. I'm going to finish off with an area that I have started recently paying more close attention to, that I'm really hoping takes off and does well. I have yet to sell one of these items on my store, although I have quite a few listed. If you go to my store, you'll be able to see that there are quite a few of these listed. But I've been focusing a lot, and I think this is probably going to be the last one that I purchase until I start seeing these begin to sell. But what they are women's medical scrub tops. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get up a little close to the camera, and I hope everyone can see that this is Disney, and guess who? Yep, Winnie the Pooh. What I do is I try to focus on the ones that are either brand new with the tag still on them, or Disney, or themed scrubs such as Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Halloween, and such. And if you go to my store and look at the scrub tops that I am selling, you'll notice that there are quite a few that are like that. And so I think this is going to be the last one that I probably deal with until I start seeing some of them be sold. All right, one last item. Again, we talked about women's purses and handbags and such. This is a Vera Bradley handbag purse. Not real sure how you... actually, my mistake. This is not a Vera Bradley. This is what they call a Bella Taylor. Very much kind of the same quilted look as a Vera Bradley, but brand new with the tag still on it. And again, these come in sometimes around $1.99, $2.99, and I think this one might have been a $2.99. But, things like this are going to be in this lot, and we're going to check it out and see how it does. I have sold these before, and so don't doubt at all that this will probably sell as well. So that's going to wrap it up for the lot. There's about probably 4 or 5 more books. We always look for classic books, such as something like this. This is Heidi. Everybody's pretty familiar with the story Heidi. Some things like historical books, The Sinking of the Bismarck, Gettysburg, American history, poetry, things like that. We got a few more board games, some more puzzles in this lot. And I'm going to say that this lot cost me in the neighborhood of about $32, with about probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably about 25 items. So we're going to take that picture. We've tried to create that picture for you here on the video to give you an idea of where this is going to end up going for profit for us. And so I just wanted to do a short video like that to show you that this is kind of how we source, and then all of this will end up being photographed and then listed on the store in the next few days. And speaking of our store, I think I'm closing in on the 400 listing mark. I'm shooting for a goal of 500 for my store. And I keep saying store. I don't really actually have a store, but I call it my store because it's like a business that we're doing here part-time. So look for some of these items, and I appreciate again everyone who takes the time to check out my video, and there'll be a lot more content again coming and soon. And I encourage everyone out there who's involved in resale to keep on keeping on, keep doing a great job. Thank you to all of the guys that I'm subscribed to on YouTube that are teaching me and helping me along the way. And we look forward to seeing you in the future as we, describe to you what item is in the lot that has sold, so that we can keep you kind of up to date with us as we go along. So thanks again. Happy New Year to everyone. And this is Patriot Picker signing out, and we'll see you again real soon. Thanks.